Yoseo, hello, all my beautiful people, and welcome to the alternate point of view. My name is Tracy Lee. Welcome everyone who is new watching this channel, and welcome to all of my OGs. I greatly appreciate every single one of you. God bless you, and thank you again. So, today we are going to be talking about something totally different than crime. However, I do think this is a crime against humanity, a crime against women, and I feel like as a woman, it is something that I need to speak out about because this is happening so often, and I just cannot believe that it has gone this far. Actually, no, wait, yes, I can. Because things are just getting far, far, far too gone. And this is something that I talk about a lot with my viewers on our live chats. It's something that I talk about side on the sidebar with my members, and this is just something that we discuss as far as there needs to be more Jesus, and we are missing God in this world. And why I say that is because there are things going on around us that I just feel this is telling us more and more, all too often, that God is at play here. And here is why. And I'm going to share this screen with you because, it's not enough that, and this is the reason why I want to talk about this topic, is because it is not being talked about enough. It's being talked about enough as far as the rights of men to have the right to play and compete and be a part of, women in sports, women in bathrooms, women in, well, men just being everywhere. And it's just insane to me that there's all of this talk about women's rights and equality and all of these things. And it just baffles me. It baffles me because women have fought so hard throughout time to have the right to vote, the right to wear pants, for God's sake, the right to not have to wear a bra. All of these things that women have fought for have now just kind of gone backwards. And it hurts my heart to see that little girls that come up after us won't have the same chance because they are now allowing men in women's spaces. There is no safe space for a woman. And uh, I know that just might sound like, wow, you're a transphobic, um, woman hating, man hating, whatever. No, I just think it's unsafe. And I'll tell you why. Because what's happening at the Olympics is disgusting and it's sad. And I'm going to put up this screen with you where there is a female boxer that had to actually uh, take herself out of a match, a boxing match, of all things that the Olympics choose to allow a man to compete in, is just absolutely disgusting. Because as much as women have been fighting, as much as even men have been fighting against abuse, uh, that is something that we are talking about all the time on this channel, is battered women syndrome, right? We're fighting so hard for victims of actual abuse, survivors of actual abuse. And here we are watching it happen live at the Olympics on the world stage, where countries are competing, where this is supposed to be our proudest moment, where countries are competing against each other and with each other and able to unite at a time where people are at war, where people are fighting, but yet countries are able to come together and compete with one another and have fun. There's a picture out there with North Korea, South Korea, and China that took a selfie together. And it is something that warms my heart because you would never, ever, ever in a million years see that, ever, except at a place like the Olympics. This is a place where the whole world can get together. This is a place where you hear of countries you've never heard of, that you hear like words you've never heard of. You hear languages you've never heard of. You just it's just so exciting. And I remember when I was a kid, I loved the Olympics. Absolutely loved it. It's something that I looked forward to because it was something to be proud of. And now it's just tainted. It's just disgusting because things like this happen. And I want to show you why. This person, Iman Khalif, from Algeria, who is an amateur boxer. Now, I'm not sure if you all are aware of this, but used to, all of the competitors in the Olympics were amateurs until they started allowing pros, like in the NBA, to come and play on the US team. That was a big controversy at the time. I don't know if you recall that, but back in the day, Olympians were amateurs. They were not paid pro athletes like they are now. The NBA, there's a lot of sports now. There's wrestling in the Olympics. There's all kinds of other sports that have been added to the Olympics, and some of these people are actual pro athletes. They're not amateurs. They're going up against other teams from other countries that don't have pro athletes that are getting paid millions of dollars a year. So that was a big controversy when that started happening. But here we are with Iman Khalif, who was born in 1999 in Algeria, and they call them he is calling himself a she, and has been competing under the guise of a woman, even though he has male chromosomes and did not pass. Now, did not pass as a woman when he decided he wanted to compete as a woman. But Paris decided to go ahead and allow this person to compete as a woman. Now, very strange, but he originally played football before switching to boxing. And his father did not approve of boxing for girls. He didn't want him to compete in boxing as a female. But that's what he wanted to do, was box as a woman. He finished 33rd as a boxer in the first round, and then represented Algeria in the women's lightweight division, and defeated Ireland's Kelly Harrington in the quarterfinals. Well, come 2022-2023, the championships final and disqualification. Now, this person was disqualified because they didn't pass the examination. He had testosterone, obviously, because he's a man. And I want you guys, by the way, you're going to need to like and comment on this video as quickly as possible, because YouTube's going to take it down because I keep calling Aman a he, because that's what he is. He's a he. And YouTube doesn't like that. So the transgender identity is prohibited, and changing gender or sex on identity documents is not permitted, nor are medical hormone treatments allowed in Algeria. So this is what's so crazy is this person hasn't undergone any testosterone treatment, anything to change their gender. So they can't prove that they're a woman. They're just saying, I'm competing as a woman. And so because they're just saying I'm competing as a woman, the Olympic Committee is just accepting that. And they get to fight in the Olympics as a woman. So what's even sadder is that this person fought in the Olympics and made a person, an Italian woman, absolutely, after 2 punches, this person said, I can't take it. I can't take it. she was lucky to get out alive, according to her. She was like, I can't believe that I fought this person and made it out. So she just stopped the fight. She couldn't take any more hits. So this is the rising.
Only a few punches were thrown in yesterday's opening Olympic match between Algerian boxer Iman Khalif and Italian boxer Angela Carini before Carini dropped out, which is a rare occurrence in boxing. Now, the entire match lasted 46 seconds. Many are raising their eyebrows at the Algerian boxer Iman Khalif. Khalif was disqualified during the 2023 World Championships and sanctioned by the International Boxing Association for failing to meet gender standards because of high levels of testosterone. The president of the IBA said at the time, quote, based on DNA tests, we identified a number of athletes who tried to trick their colleagues into posing as women. According to the results of the test, it was proved that they have XY chromosomes. Such athletes were thus excluded from competition. But the International Olympic Committee cleared Khalif to compete anyway in the game, saying, quote, everyone competing in the women's category is complying with the competition eligibility rules. They are women on their passports, and it stated that this is the case, that they are female. Now, after the match, the Italian athlete said, quote, I felt a severe pain in my nose, and with the maturity of the boxer, I said, enough. Carini then said, quote, I am not here to pass judgment or pass judgment if an athlete is this way, and in that sense, it's not up to me to decide. The Italian premier, Giorgia Meloni, criticized the match, saying that she opposes allowing female athletes to compete against athletes with, quote, genetically male characteristics. Khalif fights again on Saturday. There's also one more athlete, Lin Yuting of Taiwan, who similarly failed the gender eligibility requirement and was stripped of a bronze medal last year. She will compete in her first match tomorrow.
Now, many conservatives online were furious with the results of the match. Outkick founder Clay Travis tweeted, quote, every Democrat leader says this is perfectly fine. The man is a woman. It's way past time for choosing on this issue. Now, Olympic medalist Sharon Davies tweeted, quote, the IOC are negligent in their duty to care to female boxers, knowingly putting males with a huge advantage in the ring with females.
And these were hardly the only people to speak of. My social media feed right now is nothing but outraged, many of them conservatives, others as well. J.K. Rowling, who obviously the Harry Potter author, has been very outspoken on issue of trans people in women's spaces, said, could any picture, has a picture of the two boxers. Could any picture sum up our new men's rights movement better? The smirk of a male who knows he's protected by a misogynist sporting establishment, enjoying the distress of a woman he's just punched in the head and whose life ambition he's just shattered. Hashtag Paris 2024. A lot of commentary from people on the right noting that this is a man, describing this as a man beating up a woman and for sport, which is very despicable, detestable. I will say, so this person, this athlete, does not identify as trans, just identifies as a woman.
Yeah. Just identifies
in Algeria, it is illegal to transition, I understand. Now, this person failed prior tests to determine what I think they're best described as an intersex person, probably, for having high levels of testosterone, certain genetically male characteristics that many people would probably argue that they should not be competing against women who don't possess the same biological characteristics, would seem to be most fair.
Right. Now, the IOC does provide a framework to international federations, but it's non-binding. So they didn't do any testosterone tests. We know that much. They said they did biochemical tests. And we know that neither of these athletes identify as transgender. I think it's a very interesting scenario where you have had a lot of conservatives argue that athletes need to compete with their gender assigned at birth. There are situations where people are born intersex and they are not transgender and they are assigned a sex at birth that is the closest to how their body developed. And I think that exposes some cracks in this argument that you have to compete with the gender assigned at birth. And it does give some credit to the people who are saying the best way to determine fairness in terms of sports and the advantages you have that are gender-based are tests of testosterone, are tests of hormones and testosterone present in the body. It seems to be much more clear-cut given that.
Well, right, but this person previously failed those tests.
Right, that's true. And I think that it would be much better if we had consistent testing for all athletes of testosterone if we're going to have a scenario where people are competing, we have transgender athletes. That has been determined. 2 years of HRT in many cases is what equalizes the playing field.
Doesn't equalize the playing field.
And testing the testosterone levels is important as well to ensure that it's working and it's consistent because there are always outliers. And for some, sometimes you're still faster. They've done tests of track and field sprinting after 2 years. And so for some sports, it could be 3 years. But really, understanding that biology is more complicated than we just have a gender assigned at birth and we are that gender.
I mean, in 99% of cases, it's not more complicated, but there are certainly outlier cases where it is more complicated.
Yes. And it seems like we have 2 outlier cases here that are good examples for why these standards need to be fleshed out and that it's not so clear cut. And when we start assessing gender in this way, this probably wouldn't have been as much of a conversation or a question if we didn't have the huge debate around transgender athletes, because they're women on their passports. They have the same gender they were assigned at birth. Why were they even being tested or questioned? I don't know that this would have happened 10, 20 years ago.
Because it's in elite physical competition spaces. Look, you can be a woman for your passport. I'm not trying to take that away from anyone. I'm not trying to invalidate anyone's self-identification. Identify however you want. I support and affirm you. I don't care at all, even in the slightest little bit.
That's nice.
I want the same protections and treatment. We're talking about a specific aspect of human socialization, of competitive sports, where the differences between men and women are significant. In most ways, like our legal system does not in most ways recognize differences between men and women, as they should not. But there are some ways in which men and women are different. And in terms of competitive physical ability, that is one of them.
Yeah.
And so you have to separate men and women in sports, even from a young age, if you want it to be competitive at some point. And now we're getting to, you're right, a tricky situation where this person did not transition, so they're not under the transgender category. However, they do have a natural biological advantage in terms of higher testosterone levels that should probably mean that they're not competing against biological women. And maybe that's just like in your case, you don't do that, or you're with other people of similarly advanced testosterone levels or something like that. It's a difficult situation, but it just seems very clear to me that this person should not have been in this match.
Yeah, we want fights to be fair, except in the case of Maduro and Elon Musk, but we want generally fights.
Don't forget that this person played football. They played football. And then they went to boxing. And this is the match. See, that's really sad. So you can't, like, sorry, I thought I was showing you the match. Let me show you the match. It just is sad because um the match itself is absolutely hard to watch because um I mean, even if this Algerian person, even if everything says they're a woman, okay, even if they're not transitioning, but the fact of the matter is, even if their testosterone levels were too high, usually the Olympics would be like, oh, you're taking steroids or you're taking HRT or you're doing something to increase your testosterone levels. I mean, my God, the last Olympics, Shikari was taken out of the Olympics because she had THC in her system. THC doesn't give you faster legs, it doesn't make you a better runner. It literally slows you down. But they took her out of the Olympics for that. But they allow this. This is unjust. This is horrific. And what happened to this Italian boxer is absolutely horrific. And it does not make any sense at all for this to have happened. So I don't understand how in the world this could have happened. This woman. So I'm gonna share this screen and try to find this boxing match where this woman had to stop. She had to stop the fight because she had her nose broken, and it doesn't make any sense. Uh, um, it doesn't make any sense that this is happening to these women, all of the women all over the all over. This is happening because we have women who are having to lose to men in swimming. We have women who are having to lose to men in golf. We have women who are having to lose to men in just about every sport because and I guess we should stop saying transgender because they're not transgender.
Recognizes the same thing that everyone else should.
They are.
Men should not be in the same ring. Recognizes the same seconds. And again, that was
straight right hands.
So,
and again, that was the fight only lasted 40 male violence
so this fight
watches
only
and
lasted
applauds.
46
This
seconds.
is glorified male violence against women. Let's watch some of this.
Solid straight right hands.
And again, that was the fight only lasted 46 seconds.
2 punches.
And after a few punches, Angela Carini recognizes the same thing that everyone else should. Men should not be in the same ring. The punching power, call me crazy, but it's almost as if women don't want to be punched in the face by a male as the world watches and applauds. This is glorified male violence against women. Let's watch some of this.
One.
Solid straight right hands.
Like, wait a minute.
And again, that was the fight only lasted 46 seconds. Angela Carini recognizes not be in the same ring. The punch of a woman, it is
like,
not
holy crap,
going to get hurt.
And she crap knocked out of me. Goes to her ringside. He's like,
they call it right there. 46 seconds in. Here's another one. Female boxer Angela Carini breaks down in tears as she falls to her knees in despair after being beaten by a biological male boxer during a women's boxing match in the Paris Olympics.
And then the end is even worse.
She's probably worked her entire life to get to this point, right? Worked your entire life. You had this opportunity and you end up in the ring against a competitor who's not a woman. And this is how it ends for her. And this is really sad.
She's like,
and you've got this disgusting piece of shit that tries to come over and, hey, it's okay. It's okay. Angela Carini wants nothing to do with this guy.
It's not.
Rightly so. Rightly so.
It's not okay. So it's not okay, you guys. It's not okay. So I just wanted to present that because the Olympics this year has been a complete and utter joke. It's been all about all the famous people that are there. I don't give a crap about the famous people that are there. I don't care about this, the debacle opening ceremonies that completely trashed the Last Supper. God is watching, you guys. What is going on in our world today, God is watching. This that is happening, we are watching on the world stage. If that's not a man with XY chromosomes beating a woman on the world stage, if we are allowing men to beat women on international television with children watching, that's a problem. That's a huge problem. And anyone who doesn't speak out about that and does not think that that's a problem and thinks that that's okay, that's wrong. If you're teaching your little girls that it's okay to have a man beat a woman on live television, what are you teaching your boys? What are you teaching your boys? That it's okay to go beat a woman on TV? That it's okay to beat a woman, period? That's wrong. It's okay for men to just beat women, punch women in the face, break their nose for a medal. That's okay. So that means it's okay for you just to go beat a woman because you want that glass of water. It's okay for you to go beat a woman because you want whatever you want. It just boggles the mind. Make it make sense. Kamala Harris, you guys, is running her campaign on women's rights, but she can't define what a woman is. It's disgusting what is happening. This is not God's law. This is not law. This is not just. This is not justice. This is criminal. This is absolutely horrific. It is horrible to watch. And all I can say is we need more Jesus. We need more prayer. And we need to stop this. And women need to unite and stand up and stop falling for this garbage that is trying to be shoved down our throats. We need to teach our little girls that they need to stand up and not accept that boys can be girls and men can be women and all of the shenanigans, because this is not acceptable. No, they don't. They don't need to accept once again that they are pushed off to the side and have to accept once again that they are second fiddle. No, that is not true. There is a place for women and there is a place for men. That is why there is a women's sport and a men's sport. That is why there is a place for women and a place for men. And it doesn't mean that women are inferior. It doesn't mean men are superior. It just means there's a place. Everyone has a place. That is what God meant for all of us to do, is have a place. So you can call me homophobic. You can call me transphobic. You can call me whatever you want. You can say all the names you want. I don't care. You can put it in the comments. You can say that I'm hateful. You can say all the things that you want. But you know what I am? Is standing up for my right as a woman and standing up for every little girl and every woman who is afraid to speak out as a woman and say enough, enough already. This is unacceptable. No more. There's no way that a sensible woman would allow a man to put their hands on her and not fight back and not want to not be. That's not acceptable. There's no way. There are too many cases that I cover where women are actually beaten and actually survivors and actually fighting to get away from that behavior. And here we are giving out medals for it. This is ridiculous. This has to stop. And I'm asking every woman to pray. And I'm asking every woman, if you believe in your right as a woman, and if you believe for your little girl's future and all the little girls' future in this world, if you believe that everything that our women, female ancestors fought for, that if we want equal rights, then that's what we want. That's what they fought for. That's what we got. We got the right to vote. We got the right to wear pants. We got the right to work men's jobs. But you don't see women working on oil rigs. You don't see women digging the ditches. You don't see women building the roads. You don't see women on those rooftops putting the shingles on roofs and the solar panels up there. No, you don't. Because that's where the equality stops. Okay? The equality stops when we got to work out in the hot sun and we got to do those manual labor jobs. No. Women only want equality when it comes to those nice perky office jobs and having those nice corner offices and getting to be up the corporate ladder. Okay? That's where women want equality. We don't want it when it comes to actually doing the hard manual labor stuff. Okay? So that's where women want it. I'm just on my soapbox today because I saw this and was like, what the heck is happening? How in the world is this happening? Why is this happening? And it's enough already. Enough. Dylan Mulvaney was like disgusting enough. Jeffrey Marsh, disgusting. You have people who are pandering to your children, but to have it at the Olympics, it doesn't matter where it is, but literally to have it on the international stage where children are watching, it's on every day, all day, 24/7, and children are watching the Olympics. And this is something that's supposed to be a prideful moment for our country, for every country in the world who's able to participate in the Olympics. And it's a sense of pride. It used to be a sense of pride. It used to be something that we all could go to and we all could unite with. And this is not uniting. It's actually very, very divisive. And it is making me feel very, very sick to my stomach every time I see that poor girl just fall down to her knees and cry, because that was not a fair fight. It was just not fair. And because she had to stop, or she would probably have died. If he'd hit her any harder, he, whatever that is, says woman on her passport. I mean, for the last time, I identify as trans financial. I am a rich Asian Korean from a rich chaebol in Korea. That's how rich I am. I come from one of the richest chaebols in Korea. And I expect to be recognized that way. I expect to walk into a bank and get the loan of my dream and not have to pay that shit back, because you know why? I'm going to write that off on my taxes like all of these other rich people do and not have to pay it. I want to be as rich as these politicians are in America and not be held accountable for any of it. That's how I identify. So if I can identify, if this person can identify as a woman and beat the crap out of another woman and get a medal for it, I should be able to identify as rich as all get out and own an island somewhere and be able to do whatever I want. Because apparently you can just say you are whatever and that should be accepted. I don't understand what kind of clown world we live in, topsy-turvy, upside-down world we're in, but that is just, it just doesn't make any sense. Make it make sense, people. Make it make sense. I thank you all so much. I appreciate you. But I really just, what I'm asking for, honestly, is, leave comments. I want to see people sharing, posting, saying something. Rise up. Women, rise up. If you really, really want to stand up for women's rights, if you really, really want to do something for women, stand up for women. Like real women. Not this garbage. We need to be more godly. We need to be more about God, and we need to pray. We need to pray. And we need to rescue our little girls, and we need to rescue the women that have fallen into this trance that men are the same. They are not. And we are not the same as men. Women need to understand that as well. We are not the same as men. We never will be. We're not going to be as equal. We're just not. We're not physically. We're not mentally, thank God. Thank you, Jesus. We're not mentally the same as men. Holy crap. Where have we gone wrong? Women naturally, mentally develop faster than men. Why do we want to stop that? Why? It's okay if men physically develop faster than women. We want that. Let them do their thing. We are mentally faster developed than men. Why are we trying to back that up? Why are we trying to go back? Come on, women. Get your heads together and understand this is not where we want to be. It's 2024. I was way better off when I was younger than I am right now. This is ridiculous. Let's get together, bond as women. Just because you're a woman doesn't mean you have to support a woman, okay? You don't have to support Kamala Harris because she's a woman. You don't have to support Kamala Harris because she says she's black when she's not. You don't have to support Kamala Harris because she's a woman of color. She's technically Asian. I'm Asian. I'm not supporting Kamala Harris because she's Asian. She doesn't identify as Asian. I've never heard her one time identify as being Asian. I wouldn't identify it either if I was her. She's not very smart. So, whatever. Anyway, that's how I feel. Call me names if you want. Leave it in the comments. But that is wrong. What we just saw, that is wrong. And yeah, I don't care what her passport says. If it says she's a woman, I mean, you know what? If there's a way that I can put all over my information that I'm rich and people need to recognize, then that's what I'm going to do. So, no cap, whatever that means. Bye. Kamsahamnida. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I appreciate it so much. And if you like this channel, don't forget I'm not monetized, so please buy me a coffee. And you can also go to my PayPal or my Cash App. I greatly appreciate it. It is going down here on the screen. And I will see you in the next video.